Hey y'all, this is Toya. You're tuned in to Healthy Talks and Walks with Toya, where we are generational curse breakers that are growing and uncomfortable. Hey y'all! So, we're going to be talking about self-awareness. So, last time I was talking about self-awareness, self-work, and emotional intelligence and how it helped me walk through a traumatic experience that I was having. And so I want to get into self-awareness because, like I said, I'm going to do like little series on it. So, we're going to talk about self-awareness today. Self-awareness is so huge. It's pretty much about being aware of what you're feeling, where it's coming from, and different things like that. And just pretty much how that affects your move about, right? So a way you can determine, like, to help with your self-awareness, to learn more about yourself, right? They have a lot of personality tests out here. Some people don't like the Enneagram. I like the Enneagram. But also too, you have Clifton Strength Finders. I think you can find that online for free. They also have a thing called DISC. You can Google these things and find these little personality tests or whatever like that. The reason you want to know your personality test is because you want to know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, right? Sometimes too, it helps when you know the blind side to your strength. So, in example, one of my top strengths is communication. No way, right? Nah, I think I kind of already knew that anyway before I even took the thing. But the blind side to communication is the idea that sometimes I can kind of like run over people. So, another thing in my communication is, I can misinterpret other people's silence for like a way that I need to like just talk more. I always fill the gaps, right? So with that being said, because I know that is a blind side to my strength, what I generally do is I try to intentionally leave pauses in there to allow people to speak. Another thing I try to do is I may ask a question. So what I heard you say is this, right? That helps me because I'm aware that I can generally run over people. Sometimes I can turn the conversation to another way because I like to talk, but I also too like to listen as well. So again, self-awareness is super huge when you're going out and about because that helps in how we interact with others when we know more about how we communicate, how we interact and things like that. So again, like I said, we're going to be going through this self-awareness. Another thing I was aware of when I first left my old job, I was aware I was like hypersensitive to if I felt like somebody was trying me. I was like, oh, heck no. I ain't going down this road again, right? I was aware about being vulnerable. That's another thing too. When you're vulnerable, it's super important to know these things when it's high stress times. Like right now with everything going on in my house, I can tend to get vulnerable, right? And so in that space, I have to have safe spaces to go and talk to people. Don't put myself in certain environments. Right? A lot of times people don't like to admit the vulnerability. They don't like to express that they are vulnerable. But for me, I think it's super important to know that that you are vulnerable, right? And if you know that, then you know not to go certain places. You know not to listen to certain things. So those are some of the things that I would like to encourage you guys to kind of like maybe get into knowing about yourself. Pay attention to yourself. That's another way you can have a healthy sense of self-awareness. Do I automatically get mad when I'm around certain people or if I'm hearing certain music? I know for me one time, someone had told me I was at a place and some people walked in the room and my face like scrunched up. And I had no idea that I had done that. So when the people left, the person said to me, they was like, well, dang, why your face did like that? And I was like, I had no idea that I did that, right? So again, what's going on in our subconscious mind will show up in the present. Like, I didn't know I had done that thing, right? So another way you can be self-aware too, who are the closest people to you? Ask them. The closest people to you, the people that get to see you blood raw, right? Ask them like, hey, how am I? How do I respond to certain things? This will help increase your self-awareness. And as you increase your self-awareness, it will help you just navigate life better. Notice certain things about yourself. If I'm stressed, this is how I respond under stress. If I'm happy, this is how I respond there. That's always good to know on this journey to healing. So this is Toya. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share because it may bless somebody else. Peace.